In this last video with text functions, we're going to work with a little bit more of advanced text and using the mid, left, and right function, and along with the find and the length. So what we have here is an email list. If you have a set of contacts, or if you had a bunch of emails from people, generally you'll see something like this if you were to copy your text. Generally it may show person's name, sometimes mail to, not always, and then their email address, and usually they'll put it in little brackets, little brackets. So what we want to do is we want to find something that's common. Now we could do the colon. I'm sorry, yeah, we could do the colon. We could also do the bracket, but we're going to stick with the colon. So we'll tell it to equal find. And again, like I said on the other videos, there's always multiple ways of doing things. It doesn't have to be the exact one, but I'm choosing the colon for a particular reason. So I want to find the text, so we'll do double quote, colon, double quote, and then in B2. And we'll hit enter. So that tells us that the colon is at the 22nd position. And if we just copy this down, we can see all the various positions that those two are at. So I'm going to center these just so it makes it a little easier to read. Now, knowing that we're probably going to need to use the length of the string like we did before in the previous example. So we're going to go back to customer names. We used the, when I did the, where was it? Oh, right here. The mid, I used the length, which was F2, and I subtracted the position of that space. So we may need to use the length. So type in equal, len, and again, and then we'll just copy these down. So now we want to extract the email, which is in the kind of the midpoint of our string. And I mentioned that there's never any right or wrong solution. This one, yeah, we could use the right command of the right function, but then we're going to be stuck with this ending bracket, and we could do a search and replace if we needed to. But if you want to do that with 3,000 emails, no, you probably want to use the mid function. So equal mid. We want to know the string. Let me just, I'm going to exit out. I'm just going to zoom in so you can see this a little better. So equal mid, the text. Now we want to know our starting point. So we used the colon. So the that position is C22. But notice we have the colon, a space, that beginning bracket. So we need to actually add some characters. So I'm going to add two characters. We'll start with 2. This is that trial and error. And then I want to find, I don't need that first part, so I'm going to take the length, which is D2, and I'm going to subtract that position for the colon, which is C2. Now, I'm not following my notes exactly here, but I want to show you that sometimes you may need to do a little bit of trial and error. So we'll hit enter. So you'll notice that I did get the email, but I also got extra material. I got the ending bracket and the beginning bracket. So that tells me I'm probably going to need to adjust something here. So this first example, for the starting point, we told it that I wanted you to skip the colon, and I wanted you to skip the space. So it started with the bracket. So what I want to do is actually skip the bracket. So I'm going to change that to a 3, and I'm going to hit enter. I'm not going to worry about the last part yet. I just want to get that first part working. Okay, looks like we got that first part working. Okay, and then I'll come back here, and it's like, boy, it looks like I have too many characters here. So what if I subtract 1? I'll hit enter. Nope, that didn't do it. And so let's say we'll subtract 2. Nope, that didn't do it. We'll subtract 3. There we go. So what happened is it actually filled in extra characters. So I needed to back that up. So when I did just the two, subtracting these two, I had extra characters, so it just kind of filled that in. So sometimes you may have to adjust these numbers to bring that in to your correct starting point and the correct number of characters. So trial and error, nothing wrong with that. That will make things work great. Well, the last thing I want to do here is I want to create a list where I separate, I take all of these emails now and I put them all in one cell. Well, we can use a new function called TextJoin. And actually, I think I'm going to, oops, I'm in the middle of something here. Let's delete that. I'm just going to zoom in so you can see the function. And let's make this a little bigger there. There we go. So this is just a box. We just took a whole series of cells and we just merged them. So now we'll do equal. The function is TextJoin. And it has 3 required arguments. The first is what's your delimiter, meaning what do I want to separate these by? So here I want to separate it by a semicolon. So double quote, semicolon, double quote. If all you wanted to do was a space, you could just do double quote, space, double quote. So now the comma. Do I want to ignore anything that's empty? Let's say for some reason this entry right here, E9, did not have an email address. So we're going to tell it to ignore those. And then what's my text? Well, here's where I need to do E2 through E21. So close my parenthesis. So again, just to go over this again, the function is TextJoin. This is going to allow you to take a bunch of text and combine them together. The second argument is what happens when you have something blank. So it's just going to ignore it. Otherwise, I would just put a semicolon there. And then finally, what's our text? You might be thinking, boy, I could have used this instead of the ampersand thing. Yeah, you could have, but you only could do 2 at a time. So with the previous example we did. So we'll hit enter, and you'll see that all our emails fit nicely. I'm going to set it at the top. Notice they do, word wrap is kind of goofy, so it doesn't know how to separate that, but if I were to copy this and paste it someplace else, there would be no problem with it. So generally what would happen is you would take this, you would copy it, and you might paste it into an email list for your email you're sending out. So that is using a little bit more of the advanced mid function to find and extract somewhere midway in our data. Thank you.